Hello. In this video, this is the third in our series called Create Table and Pages. In the first video, we showed how to add new tables to your site and generate pages for managing the data entry. In the second video, we looked at enhancing the new pages and looking at specifically how to change the date field into date pickers. In this video, we're going to look at how we can do validation on the fields. So, for example, ensuring that we have the mandatory input field, and just in general how you can add rules to the fields before you save them. And then we're also going to look at putting a default date into the created date. So we'd created two tables, a to-do list and a to-do list priority. Let's jump straight in and open up our file manager. We created these under the custom folder, so we just navigate to the custom folder, show thumbs, and we're going to look at the to-do list. To-do list dash list. To-do list dash list, and click edit. We can also run this page from here. So let's have it loaded up as well. Let's run that up. So we've got a copy of it here. So that's the page where we are at the moment. So what we want to do is change the created date. At the moment it's a date picker, same as the completed date. But it shouldn't be. This should be a timestamp, which should be set to the time that we create the record, and then it shouldn't be editable. So let's change that. So we've got the code open here. We just opened it. And we're going to search for the insert record. Insert record. So this is fired when we save the record. Just scroll down and look at your fields, your custom fields that you added. A block like this. And there's our created. There's nothing going in at the moment. Now below there are a couple of useful kind of defaults, if you like, that you could use, and one of them is a date created. Just set it to be date time now. So let's use that. So let's undo that. But the field name's wrong. So change it to copy that, put that in. Change that to be created and then run this one out. Save that. So let's just try adding a new record. Test 2. Save. Test 2. Yep, 1243, which is correct. The next thing we want to do is to disable that field. So let's switch back over to the source and scroll down to find created field, which is completed, created. Let's say here enable equals false. Save that. And come back to our record and hard refresh. And that's disabled. So if we add a new record, save that. It's got the timestamp in and it's disabled. So what we currently, there's a problem because there's no validation, there's no mandatory requirements, for example, in fields, which is not typical in a real situation. So what we'd like to do is add a mandatory requirement to the title field. So there has to be something in this before we can save it. So let's do that. So let's go back to our source and search for valid record. And in here, it checks the security level of the person, exits if they're not valid, then it just does a return valid by default. So we're going to move that past here. This next block is an example of how we can validate a field. So this will be your field name. Change this to suit. And here we're just testing if it's got anything in it. So if the title field is empty, add an error to the errors collection. Title is a required field. Set the flag valid equals false and return. Save that. And now come back here and do a hard refresh. If I try editing one of my existing records, for instance, take that out, save, get the message title is a required field. Which was this? Test. Just label test, but now put it back to what it was. Test and save. That's fine. Try a new entry. Just try saving it. Can't. Title is a required field. So that's it for this video. So we looked at how we can add default dates into the created field, or into a date field. How we can disable it, and how we can start to add validation on our fields. We added a mandatory requirement to the title field. In the next video, we're going to look at how we can change the to-do list priority ID to be a lookup to our to-do list priority table and return the selected row. Thank you very much.